seen your team pull together a couple wins here in the road. Are you looking forward to seeing how they handle some prosperity? They've gone through some tough times now. They've put together a couple wins. No practices the last couple days.
Yeah.
You're on them yesterday.
I think every day is a learning experience right now for our team. It's an opportunity for us to show each other as teammates where we're at mentally and physically. We've had a day off. We had a practice yesterday where we had to reel it in a little bit. I thought it got loose and we had to tighten things up. So tonight will be an interesting battle for me and for the coaching staff to see how the players will respond. Now, the score at the end of the night will be important, but it's how we play and what we put into the game, and are we cutting corners, or are we playing the right way? And if we're doing those things, that means there's progress. If we're going backwards, we talk about moving the needle a little bit. We've moved it a bit more. Now are we going to allow it to come back again? So that's what tonight's all about.
When you were in Detroit, you guys won the cup. A lot of talk about the Red Wing way. Can you tell us what the Red Wing way is when you see them play on the ice, when you were there at the top of their game?
At the top of their game, my days in Detroit, and I think it's carried on for a while, it's maybe changing a little bit. They could answer that question a lot better than I could, but it was a professional way, it was a professional approach to every game. Every minute was important. They tried to do things right all the time. Practice was important as game situations. The high-end players showed up and played like high-end players night after night after night. It forced the youth to come along, and when they finally needed a little burst of energy, the youth was there to provide it. What else did they do? They overdeveloped players in the minors so that there was always a succession plan coming in, and they could inject players into the lineup that were ready to contribute, not just ready to play. And they had good people in the organization, including some of the media people.
I don't see that.
Yeah, that's not true. That can't be true.
No.
Todd, what's your perception of how Andrew Ference has dealt with, having to sit out a few games? Is it something different for his career? And I guess just to add to that, how do you expect him to play tonight?
I expect him to play very well. We believe that's in his game, and I think he's going to deliver that. As far as how he's handling it, very professionally. As good as he can be. He's working hard. He's doing the things he needs to do away from the rink. But I think if you peel the onion back a little bit, it's hurting him. It's eating at him, and he wants to be in the lineup and believes he can contribute, and he's going to get that chance tonight. So there's how he's behaving and how he's acting as professional, but deep down, I'm sure it's burning away at him.
Is Eric Gryba becoming more valuable than you anticipated him being when he first came over to this?
Not necessarily yet. I think that he is creating a trust level that's going higher and higher every night, but he's delivered what we expected him to. We haven't asked him to do more than what he's done. He's delivered a physicality element. He's been good in the penalty kill situations. Where he is assumed strong as a player, he's played that well. Some of his weaknesses have shown up, and we're trying to work with him in those areas to get better, but he's met expectations to this point.
Todd, Rob Tinkheimer said that he's looking forward to maybe getting some momentum, some traction here, playing a few games in a row. He said he's been temporarily sit out. What are you looking from him, I guess, in this next little while? What do you feel does he need to provide?
Well, I think he has speed. I think he has a good sense around the puck, and when he uses his body and creates space, and I don't mean physically create space, but space around the puck for his teammates, he's effective. We saw some of that in Vancouver the other night. He was in on pucks quite quickly. He can make other defensemen, or the other team's defensemen, a little bit nervous and force plays. When he's doing that, he's playing well. Penalty kill, he'll get more opportunity to do that as well.
Can he fill some of that gap that Matt Hendricks leaves behind, or is that a collective thing that
I think it's a collective thing. I think Klink's a little bit of a different player than Matty, and it's not fair to put him in his uniform and assume all of Matty's characteristics are in Klink. They're different people, so.
Todd Richards,
Yeah.
Todd Richards.
Yeah, Todd was a coach with us in San Jose my first year. He's a tremendous coach. I know it's disappointing anytime that happens. And it's probably easy for the outside world to say, well, coaches are hired to be fired. It's not a fun day. It's not a fun day for his family. It's not a fun day for him. And that's not why we're hired. We're hired to try and make teams better and help people, players. I think he's a great coach. I think he'll get another chance, and I know he'll do well when he does get it.
We talked a little bit about the goaltenders yesterday. You decided to go back with Talbot here, but both guys had won their last game. How much of a thought process was there? And again, just that's got to be a good thing to feel like either way you go.
Like I said yesterday, a real good problem for us to have. Both of them played well. You know, coming back with Cam, we want to keep our goaltenders up and running. With playing back, not back to back, but every second night now for the next 10 days or 12 days, they're both going to need some action. So we chose Cam tonight, and then we'll see what happens on Friday.
Cam came in here kind of with his first opportunity to take a run at holding on to a starting job. Have you noticed the confidence in him, and just in terms of the timing of that he makes big saves? What have you seen from him confidence-wise?
Yeah, both have presented that to us. I think they both look confident. You know, the test for both of them was how are they going to handle the losses. Their games were good. The play was generally pretty good from both of them, but psychologically, how are they going to handle the loss versus the win? And that was a question that our whole group had to handle. You know, we've responded well to this point.
Todd, do you subscribe to the theory that when farm hands get called up and they're offensive players, you can't put them on fourth line? They should be in the NHL. If they're offensive players, they should be playing with offensive.
Yeah. You know, and I think that's their ingredients. We got one big recipe on the go, and their ingredients, and Miller provides a different ingredient than Pakarinen or somebody else does down there. And sometimes you look at what you have here, Klinkhammer, Schlepyshev, those type of players, and you're looking for something maybe a little bit different. And I think Miller is that.
You mentioned last week how you thought your guys' effort wasn't the issue, but some of their execution at time was the problem. How has Sekera been for you through the first 6 games?
I think he's still evolving, just like we all are, the coaching staff, the players. I think as the games have gone on, he's polished things up a little bit more. He's beginning to understand what we ask of him, what his teammates ask of him. You know, he has spent the majority of his career in the East. He had a little bit of time in LA, but got hurt, so he hasn't experienced the West as much. New team, new teammates, a lot of things going on in his world that he has to just settle down, and he's evolving. He's a passionate player.
How can I ask you a follow-up on Detroit? Henrik said he was a multi-point player almost every game in his mid-30s. What do you remember about him, or what stands out to him about him?
Well, he's you know, as an individual, just a person, he's a quality guy. I think this guy can play forever if he can stay healthy, because he's passionate. He approaches the game like a professional. He finds a way to enjoy it too, even when it's not going well, which I think creates longevity. Detailed, very competitive, great puck protection skills, has the ability to make people around him better. Hopefully he's sick tonight after all of that.
You're glad.
Following up on Sekera, Greiba mentioned how he noticed it is a big difference in the West, just how heavy the teams are. He feels it works better for his game. He likes being here. Sekera making the transition, you know, a different style of player. What are the things you talk to him about adjusting to as a defenseman in the West?
Well, I think he likes to have the puck. When it's on his tape, he likes to have it. It's got to get off a little bit quicker. I don't know if out East, I don't know if I'm correct or not, but maybe you have a little more time to handle and play a little more one-on-one as a defenseman. What we've seen is it get off his tape a little bit quicker. Don't get into those situations. Sense danger quicker. But it'll come. It'll come with him.
You're glad as a coach you don't see Datsyuk too?
Yeah, you know. Well, we're evaluating our group. It might be nice to see Datsyuk. Let's see what we can do against Pavel and Hank and how we handle those situations. But when they lose a type of player like that, you know, that's like Eberle for us. When he's not in the lineup, it changes things a little bit. So we'll try and take advantage of an injury break.
Thanks, Todd.
Thanks.
Thanks, Todd.